So the last article that we're gonna talk about. Appreciate y'all hanging in there. We just wanted to bring y'all some good stuff. Y'all know how we finish. Hey, we gotta finish on a positive note, like some takeaways. So with this article on CNBC Making, it's pretty good. Check that out sometimes. We having some pretty cool stories. All right, so with this one, the most successful young employees always use these 10 phrases to stand out at work, says Harvard Career Advisor. So, this advisor, he got some 3 C's, which I thought was pretty cool. He got 3 C's: confident enough to be trusted, committed enough to be invested in, compatible enough to be a team player. For
Oh, I
sure.
like that.
Yeah, I like that. The 3 C's, right?
Yeah.
I'm like, man, I like that. Okay. I might have to incorporate that in some of my coaching calls, like give credit where credit to do. But I'm like, that simplified it. You say things in different ways, but I'm like, yo, that's straight to the point. That's real. All right. So this, from their perspective, the sooner you make using these 10 phrases a daily habit, the sooner you'll be speaking like a future leader. Again, speaking things into existence, talking, and you becoming it. What are your top priorities? Many early in career professionals put their heads down and work, or at least pretend to. The most successful professionals figure out what matters to those who matter, and then spend their time on what's most mission critical. Ask this question and you'll show your manager that you're committed to the same goals. What are your thoughts? Let's talk about the young folks. I'm gonna be throwing this to you and let you comment on each one from your perspective.
I like this article because it really gives me an opportunity to reflect because I'm in a role where there's a lot of us younger people, and I definitely don't hear people my age or around my age asking the higher ups. I think this is definitely something that if someone's asking this, oh, they're tapped into something different. Like I don't hear people going up to the manager saying, "So okay, what was your priorities again? Like what was the main takeaways? What do you specifically want us to focus on?" Like it was. I like that. That's good.
Okay. 2, would it be helpful if I blank? Many early career professionals wait to be told what to do. The most successful professionals look left, look right, and find a way to be helpful and clear the suggestion with a higher up. Ask this question and you'll show your manager that you can think for yourself and think on behalf of the team. Would it be helpful if I blank?
Yep, I like that. I mean, just in real life, I use that recently. And here's a
Hmm.
trick too: you mess around and use it and mean it. Oh, you'll mess around and get something. Because like I had a new manager join my team specifically. So we had a team meeting and he went through just like, okay guys, this is what we're gonna be doing. This is kind of how I work. Introducing himself and basically explaining what he needs. Giving us the speech. What do you guys need from me? How can I be a best support to you? And then I called him afterwards. He was getting some water. And I said, hey man, nice to have you on the team. What do you need from us? What do you need from me specifically? How can I help you? I meant
Hmm.
like, cause I'm sure it's a transition for him, even though like as an employee, and this kind of goes to our topic earlier about networking. You can network inside your company. Just because you're an entry level or a younger person in a relationship, that doesn't mean you can't provide value to whoever the other person is in a relationship, the older person or the more tenured person.
That's deep. Okay. Ken dropping Jews. 3, mind if I join?
Wow, that's nice.
Many early career professionals wait for opportunities to come to them. The most successful professionals pay attention to what's happening and then invite themselves. You won't always get a yes, but you will sometimes. Wow, I like that. Okay. Ask this
That's
question and you will show your manager that you're proactive about your growth and eager to create new opportunities for yourself.
I I definitely, that resonates with me because I think that in the beginning, especially like at my job, in my career specifically, right out of undergrad in the beginning, I think I could, looking back, I was more so focused on figuring out what my task is and doing that versus figuring out, okay, well, are there more tasks for me to do? Oh, well, such and such is doing that. Maybe I should go watch them. Or, I'm the type of person, and if you're listening and this resonates with you, listen to this. I'm the type of person where, right away, I was like, okay, I need to just focus on improving. I need to focus on what I can do. But
Hmm.
sometimes there's nothing you can do. It's day one. You don't know nothing. Just and I'm seeing I say I've had the chance to reflect on me because I've seen some of the other new hires because it's an interesting experience going from the new hire to now you're the old dude. They coming up to you for help, and so I'm seeing some of these new hires. I'm like, wow, they are not shy like I was. They going up to the boss. They going up to this person, the manager, either asking for help or involving themselves in the process. Like, yo, can I just watch what you're doing? And I'm like, wow, like that takes a certain level of humility. I was like, man, why did I think I could just learn this stuff by osmosis? Like, you learn so much talking to people and joining, like I said.
4, how does blank work? Many early career professionals do their work without understanding why they're doing that work. The most successful professionals understand why things are the way they are and find ways to get things done more efficiently. Ask this question and you will show your manager that you're seeing the big picture rather than being consumed by a tiny part of it.
Man, I think that's that's a good one because if any for all my other Gen Zers out there, maybe younger millennials, like please just you'll save so much time asking other people that have been there, done that at the job. Yo, how do I do this? How do I do that? Please stop figuring out stuff by yourself.
Okay. 5, the context is blank, blank, blank. Many early career professionals jump straight into extended monologues. The most successful professionals begin with just the right amount of background information to make sure that others are following first. Get into the habit of starting with the line, and the people around you will get from merely hearing you to actually understanding you.
What's the line?
The context is.
Oh, okay. Yeah, right. Key takeaway. I like 6. I like 5 and 6. This is good. This is communication stuff. This is just, yeah.
Okay. The key takeaway is, so it's kind of connects 5 and 6 appear to be connected, right? So 6, the key takeaway is ... Many early career professionals ramble, leaving people confused about what they're trying to say. The most successful professionals get straight to the point, pause, and then elaborate. Get into the
Yeah.
habit of using this line, and you will have the best chance of getting your point across the first time around. Thoughts?
I will say there are a lot of times, and this I guess these are maybe the times where I don't want to give my school credit for this because I feel like, well, I had the raw talent in terms of communication, but I was fortunate to have a lot of people in high school and college help me craft it. And now I'm able to, now that I'm out of an Ivy League and I'm kind of back in Gen Pop or norm, around the normal population, I'm able to see like, oh wow, there is a difference. Wow, this person does ramble. Or wow, this person,
Mm.
you know what I mean? Or like, and it's not to say I'm better than them, but I'm like, oh wow, I'm only able to recognize it because I used to do the exact same thing.
Do you ever coach, mentor, just like help? Okay.
Now, if they ask, that's the thing.
Got
Because
it.
not only are we peers, you got to remember, I'm probably the youngest peer because I'm fresh out. All of them are 23 to 28. I'm 22, about to be 23. So I don't want to just,
Ah,
especially I'm new. They're like, man, this little young gun, he think he just know
it's the
everything.
Ivy Leaguer. He done came to Ivy League.
We ain't even ask him. He Lord, he can't wait to tell us something, right?
Nah, I hear you. I hear you. Okay. 7, to recap, ...
Yeah.
Many early career professionals smile and nod. The most successful professionals repeat back what they think they heard, and in doing so, reassure others that they're listening and ensure they know what to do next. Get into the
Yeah.
habit of ending conversations with this line, and you will minimize the odds of misunderstandings. I don't
Yeah.
know if you notice, but when we be talking, like prepping and stuff like that, I don't know if you notice, but I do that. Like, so just to recap, like I always say, just to make sure we're sure. And it's the reason, and it comes so natural now because just working all the time and you working with different people on different projects. Because if y'all just doing a whole bunch of talking, and then by the time the meeting ends, it's like, oh yeah, that was a great meeting. All right, bye. Everybody hang up, and then have you ever had those moments where you're like, wait, what everybody supposed to be doing?
Mhm.
Then now you're having to go back to like, wait, what were we supposed to be doing?
Yeah.
And so to recap, so I like this because I actually do this. This one is sticking out to me. And so what are your thoughts on it?
I like this too because you're able to. I had a one situation. You'll shock somebody if they think you're really not paying attention. I had this one like when I first got on the job. I'm meeting all my internal partners, and one of them, I think we're meeting virtually, but I was taking notes, and I will say this too: if you're taking notes, try to be mindful. Don't just still maintain eye contact and stuff. That's probably something I could have done better. But I think towards the end, he was like, "Hey man, you busy?" Or something like that, like mid convo. He's like, "Hey man, you busy?" Or like, because he was in the middle of a monologue, and I guess he knows I was looking down a little bit, so he like, "Man, this little young dude on his phone on TikTok, huh? I'm wasting my breath." But then I said, "Oh no, I'm not busy. I'm just recapping. Just to recap, you said blah 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 blah." I didn't recap this whole monologue. He said, "Oh, I guess he was paying attention. Okay,
Yeah.
let me not try to test him again. This little young dude might be sharp." But y'all, please don't get caught slipping. Pay attention. You know what I'm saying? And like this is a really cool trick. Even if it's just something real small. So like this is just 7 and 8. Like this just works in sales. Like in sales and any other profession, like it makes people feel like you're paying attention to what they're saying. And that makes people feel really good. No one wants to feel like they just wasted their breath.
Facts. Okay. So you mentioned 8. So when would it make sense for me to check back in with you? I'm pretty sure you get that one a lot in sales. So all right, let me read it down. I'm gonna let you hit this one. Many early career professionals disappear and spend hours or sometimes days or even weeks doing the wrong work. The most successful professionals check back early and often with their manager in case they're, in your case, client, in case there was a miscommunication or change in plans. Get into the habit of ending meetings with this line, and you will minimize your chances of going off in the wrong direction or getting micromanaged. Okay.
Yeah. This is this is just a matter of maturity. I'll say maturity and controlling your business, being a self-starter. You're in control of your own business. And if, like I said, it translates to sales because you would never, when you're going through a sales process with a client, you never want to let the client control the timeline because then we'll be here all year and next year waiting on a decision. And so, of course, we don't rush clients and force them to make a decision, but they kind of appreciate it too. Like, okay, I got other things to worry about. Give me a timeline so I can know when this is going to be off my plate and I can go back to what I was doing before. And then you got to think about the same way if you're in sales, you would view this is the client. I'm controlling the timeline to get a deal. You have to view your career the same way. I guess this is kind of what the article is going at. You're not just going to do a check-in with your manager and then go AWOL for the next 2 months and then the same way you would constantly check in with a client or say, hey, set the expectation. That's what we call it. Set the expectation. And so if you want to be close to a manager and be doing one-on-ones or any of your leaders, set the expectation. Let them know that they'll respect you more for it.
Yeah. 9, this is a good one.
Yes.
Am I on the right track? Many early career professionals incorrectly assume that they're doing all the right things, only to have a rude awakening when they receive their negative performance evaluations. The most successful professionals request feedback frequently, such as, after a task, project, or meeting. Get into the habit of asking this question, and you'll ensure that you're always meeting and exceeding expectations. Thoughts?
I think a lot of these fall into the category of, do you care about what you're doing or not? Because a lot of this stuff,
Mm.
I'm hearing it and I'm like, okay, if I'm just trying to coast by and do the bare minimum, I'm not asking that. Or I might ask it, but I don't care if I'm really on the right track. But if
Yeah,
I actually care about advancing my career and if I'm doing the job correctly and getting better, yes, these are all questions that will help you decide, help you get better quickly.
facts. Yeah, I agree, man. Yeah, I mean, this is stuff that I do and my career as well. 10. Is there anyone else you'd suggest? This is how you get referrals. Suggest and get introed. Is there anyone else you suggest I speak to about blank? Many early career professionals show up to meetings, listen, and leave. The most successful professionals strategically turn one conversation and relationship into two, four, and so on. Get into the habit of inserting this line into conversation, and you'll turn strangers into allies, mentors, and sponsors.
Mm, yeah. Um, I know I turn everything sales, but like you said, that's it's a big thing in sales. It should be like a chain reaction. Like if you're doing the job right, I should say, if you're providing good customer satisfaction, if you're make sure that they're taken care of, then it should not be awkward at all to pull referrals. And then to out of sales back into corporate, if you are being a good pupil, a good mentee, and you're actually making this person's day better when they speak to you because they see like, I mean, you tell me as someone who's older, when you speak to people that's younger on the job and you see them up and coming, do you like, wow, like they're really on it? Does that inspire you?
Yeah, it does. But it also makes me like want to help them.
Hmm. And so leverage that. I'm so back to my Gen Z people. Leverage that. You're hearing it from someone that's a millennial. They want to help us. So leverage that. If you find that you got a good relationship with somebody, yo, who else should I talk to about that? Who else
Yeah,
can help
because sometimes you'll see somebody and you like, dang, they crushing. They just need a little guidance. But like, man, if I could just help them cut down some of the time that it took me, like I don't, I'm not like I'm not ever looking at anyone like, dang, man, they gonna pass me up. Like I just don't think that way. I'm looking
me?
like, shoot, man, if I can pour into you and help you get there, and sure, you got to go through the process. Everyone got to go through their go through. Everyone got to go through their process. Everyone has a journey that they need to get through, and it all is bound within this framework of time. But
Right.
if I could shave off a year or two for you or three, I want to help you do that. Like, don't go through me running through all these different walls when I can just give you the blueprint on some levels, and then you can, and even if, like I said, if it's speeded up by a year or two, my job is done. Like, and I helped you. Like anytime I'm pouring into someone, I'm like, I got there during this time frame. Let's see if we can get you there much quicker
Right.
without jeopardizing what you need to learn, the process that you need to go through. So it's not shortcuts. Like it's not
Right.
like you trying to skip around like the hard work. That's a difference. Working,
And
working, working smarter, not harder.
yeah, and I'll say for people that's in entry level positions, or you're new to the job, or maybe you're stuck. You're like, you know what? I know I could get hired, but for some there's a wall I'm hitting. You might see other coworkers or peers that's like crushing it, and you're just like, yo, like they advanced and they doing X, Y, and Z. You don't even know you're witnessing the result of what two or three or four people then poured into it in terms of knowledge, like you're saying. Like that person, it's not just the fact that they're so awesome, it's the fact that they've leveraged, they might have been on the job 3 years, but now they didn't got 15 combined years of knowledge because they didn't tapped into Susie, they didn't tapped into Jake. Whereas you're just like, I know the job. I know the job description. I know what I'm doing. I've been here for a little while. You don't even know that you don't know.
And you just looking at what the progression that they making, and you just trying to compare, but you hadn't even done what they've done. You know what I'm saying? And then you don't realize like also how mentors and sponsors have played a part into them getting there, because when you know people, going back to the pie example, you know, performance is the lowest one, but it's a very critical part, but it's the lowest percentage. It's the image and the exposure. And so also through that process, you're making connections where people can speak about you when you're not in the room. Even if it's one manager just talking about, oh, well, I don't know about Keon. I'm not really sure. He's not as proactive. And then you got, and that's one of, like you said, one of the other 14, a total of 15, you since you use that example, I'm just elaborating on it. The other 14 was like, oh, I said, well, you know, that wasn't my experience with Keon. He did this. And so it kind of neutralizes what this one manager said about you. You know what I'm saying? And like if you have more people in your corner, it can neutralize what this one person has a perspective on you, and that's just their limited experience. And that's just their
Mm.
perspective. It doesn't make it wrong, but like that's how the corporate world works. You know what I'm saying? And that's how it is. Like, nah, actually, maybe he had a bad month, or maybe he had a bad week or something. But like Keon, I know Keon very intimately. He is driven. Like he's done this, and this. You know what I'm saying? Like he's great. And so, like, yes, to what you're saying. Yeah, absolutely. But yeah, I mean, that wraps up the article. The most successful young employees always use those 10 phrases to stand out at work, says the Harvard Career Advisor. And with me doing a lot of, with me doing coaching and things like that on that front, I happen to agree with the majority of it. Like, I'm not really giving much pushback. You can always come up with the top 7 this and the top 8, top 10. But I thought that was a pretty good article. And here's the kicker. It was interesting that it said young employees, but I would stretch it just because I'm older than you. I would say that's applicable to anyone that's in the workforce, and stretching it out beyond young. That's a good click title, but it's really, I would say that's applicable to anyone, young, older, et cetera, et cetera.
Anyone that's a direct report, I would say.
And but the boss has a boss. So
Mm.
like you're still going through the same process, it's just at different levels, a hierarchy, but it's still the same thing that you have to do. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Yeah. Well, hey man, I think this was a good show, man. How you feeling about the show? Any takeaways you want to leave with the folks? Any words of encouragement? I'll let you close us out. Um, drop some gems, drop some knowledge
Nah, for sure. I
to
just
the
want to
Gen
say,
Zs out there, and then I'll close us out.
yeah, let me talk to my brothers and sisters out there. No, I just want to say I'm thankful for those that are tuning in. You know, I'm thankful that we have this opportunity to share knowledge with people, and I'm thankful that there's people out there that view the knowledge as valuable and worth watching. So for those of you that's tuned in, we really appreciate it. I think we talked about some good topics today, and I really like the topic that we ended with. So if I was you guys, I would really take that list to heart. And like I said, anybody that, like Ken was saying, young, old, anybody that has a boss that they report to, or if they have older peers or older, more tenured people that you work with, take good advantage of that list and really focus on. And I think you touched on pie. We probably discuss that in another video, but basically performance, image, and exposure, right?
Yep.
Y'all, it's so much more than just performance. It doesn't just start. It wasn't just P. It's pie. It's a whole pie. So y'all, don't just put your head down and go to work, because it's very easy to just clock out. And once you clock out, it's over with. But like you were saying, you don't see the behind the scenes that goes on behind some of these people. You don't see that the job doesn't just go from 9 to 5 for them. Maybe the what they're getting paid for does, but 5:30 they're going to the happy hour. 8 a.m. they're texting the boss, "Good morning. You want me to grab something from Dunkin'?" You know what I'm saying? It's the little things. And so, y'all, and I think I'll recommend the book. It's a book that I'm starting too, so maybe we all can read together. But it's a book that I'm reading. It's about it's kind of on the same topic. The little things. What are the little things you can do? Because that's what we're trying to get at. The KB Money Show. What are some of the little tweaks you can do that can help you raise your income and maybe even double it or triple it? So the book that I'm recommending, it's bad. I'm trying to recommend it. I can't remember the name of it, but it's about Malcolm Gladwell. But I think it's called The Tipping Point. But
Yeah.
what is going to help us get to the tipping point of earning 50, 60K to maybe getting to 80, 90 or 100? Or if you're at 100, what's the tipping point that's going to get you to 150? And so, Ken, what would you take us from here?
For me, mine is simple, man. What we talked about was a lot today, and Rome wasn't built overnight.
Yep.
Give yourself some grace. Like, what maybe you already are pushing. You like, all right, Keon, KB, I hear you. But like, I'm already doing a lot. Okay, great. Keep doing that and just give yourself time. Like allowing yourself to mature and maturate into your process to where stay in your process long enough. So because the results is a lagging indicator. You got to
Yep.
do the work first. You got to have an input before an output. You have to plant a seed before it grows. And when you plant a seed in a tree, or you plant a seed and you're waiting for the flower, you don't plant it today and you're like, man, where the flower at? Like what? Like, it takes time. So just keep planting it. And then the watering it is getting up every single day with a positive mental attitude. And heck, even the days you don't feel good, you still keep getting up one day at a time. And that's the watering of what you said that you wanted. And then before you know it, you will have a plant. And then before that, you'll notice you will have a whole row of plants. And then what they call that is being fruitful. And then you will have people looking at you like, man, I got to get with, I want some of that. Can you teach me? And so a lot of times people just talking, but a lot of time, if you just be a living example, and then people start seeing the fruits, people will sometimes gravitate to you, and that's the opportunity because you said, I don't share unless they ask me. Well, sometimes it's in those scenarios, but like, so stay encouraged, no matter what, keep moving forward. We all make mistakes. I'm not speaking as if I'm like up here. I'm like y'all. I make mistakes. I learn from them. I get better. I don't let it keep me down. Yeah, I may have a day or two where I'm like, man, dang, I wish I would have did it. But like, I wish I would have don't translate to the now because when you're looking at what happened, it's already not happened. There's no point in like overly focusing on it. Take the learning lessons, keep moving forward, and just never quit. I think this is another episode in the books, KB Money Show, where we help you build your net worth $1 at a time. Into the next one. Peace. We'll catch y'all later.